Alright, let's talk about this new Arrow Video UK release of a classic Clint Eastwood Western, a spaghetti Western, A Fistful of Dollars, directed by Sergio Leone. This is the first in what is called the Dollars Trilogy, is also known as the Man with No Name Trilogy. Now, this is a DVD set I've had for quite some time. I do have a really slim Blu-ray set of it as well that I was able to compare the quality of this Blu-ray to this new limited edition 4K UHD release. Arrow Video doesn't seem to have the rights to these films in the US. Kino Lorber has previously released them. I think Kino Lorber probably has the rights, even though they didn't do a limited edition set. Now, there are slipcover versions of these. This is the third in the trilogy, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the other one being for a few dollars more. Now, the 4K discs I've run into so far have been region-free, where I can play them in my player even though they're from a different territory. The Blu-rays are often not, and there is a Blu-ray special bonus disc in here that I'm not able to play on my player. I'm thinking about getting a region-free player in the near future, and then I will be able to check them out. But just so you know, this the 4K will play more than likely. I had no problem with that, but the Blu-ray did not play. Now, this film was based on a story from Kurosawa's film Yojimbo. Now, Yojimbo is pretty much the same story, and then the filmmakers behind this sued Sergio Leone for basically ripping off their story in a spaghetti western. And they ended up winning in court, and then they got some money out of it. So it is an unofficial remake of Yojimbo, though the sequel for A Few Dollars More does not follow the plot for Sanjuro. They probably didn't want to get sued again. They did something more original, and really, to me, my favorite of the three. I don't know. I think For a Few Dollars More was actually pretty good. And then the last one I think is my favorite, For The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But I don't feel like Clint Eastwood is playing the same character in these three films. He is the Man with No Name. They sometimes have him a nickname like Blondie or something to that nature. But sometimes I'm not quite sure he's playing the same character, or if it was ever originally intended to be a trilogy. They just kind of turned it into one after the fact. But whether he's playing the same character or not, they do kind of have the same. They have the same vibe. They have the same spirit within them, the spaghetti western spirit, and he's playing a similar character that some of the other guys, like was it Lee Van Cleef, who isn't in A Fistful of Dollars. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Lee Van Cleef, who's in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He plays a different character, a very major character, supporting character in the second one, who's more of a not the bad guy. He's more of a I guess. He's kind of in conflict with him, but he's not a bad guy in that one. There was another remake of Yojimbo as well, starring Bruce Willis. It was directed by Walter Hill, and that one takes place during the Prohibition era America. And that one, it also has Christopher Walken and Bruce Dern and William Sanderson in it, and it's pretty much tells the same story. And what happens in the story is Clint Eastwood is a man that comes into town, and there's two outlaw gangs that are running this town that he comes into, and he's kind of a drifter, but he decides to do a very dangerous game of playing both sides against each other to basically profit off of it. Now, maybe he does have some good intentions, and you do see that later. When he does something that's not selfish, it ends up backfiring on him big time. So that's an interesting theme behind the story, because I think as long as if he stayed true to what he was trying to do, which was just play these two sides against each other and then profit off of them, he may have been more successful. Not to say that I'm not going to give away every plot point or anything of that nature, but he does have some success. But I think he would have been more successful had he not had a heart and decided to do the right thing. Now, that is something that elevates the story to a human story, and it kind of, in a little ways, humanizes his character, even though I'm sure he regrets making the decision that he makes in a way. But at the same time, some of his motivations are not exactly clear, and that's what's interesting about this character, and you don't know that much about him. You kind of you assume that he's a good guy because he's played by Clint Eastwood and he's the main character, but he does in some instances seem to have a kind of a dark side in what he's doing. So anyone who's seen these spaghetti westerns, they're very well known for their really wide shots and their really extreme close-ups of characters. So it actually plays really well on 4K here. I thought this was a great transfer. I thought now I did compare it against the Blu-ray. It did seem a little cleaned up to the Blu-ray. I did see some scratches and stuff in this one in some areas that I didn't see here. So I didn't do a deep dive into checking every frame out, but I did see, like, just look at a few areas here and there. This has HDR, high dynamic range, and it is a little darker in the shadow areas, which actually helps it a little bit. And I did see more clarity as far in the faces. Now, I was looking really good here in one of the earlier scenes when Clint Eastwood's first introduced, and there's a little soft focus. It's more predominant here. And it is still here in the 4K, which I didn't notice it when I was watching the 4K because of the shadows being a little darker. Now, I think the colors here stay true to the source material. They are out in the desert. It has a little bit of a red going on to it on the exterior. Now, there are some exterior night scenes here that look really dark in the shadow area, but in the highlights and the midtones, everything looks really good. So it doesn't make it, when you're watching it, you can tell what's going on, even though it does have that darkness that it needs. But you can still see those other two areas of the picture, of the frame. So, and in general, I thought this 4K transfer was strong. And now this Blu-ray transfer here also looks really good. I didn't think this looked that bad. It is an upgrade, but the Blu-ray still looks good. So let's take a look at this limited edition packaging. See if I can get this thing out of here. Now it's a little challenging getting this out. I do like this really extra thick slipcover that goes over a slip box. There's some details of some of the characters on the back. Most of these are the bad guys, the outlaws that he's playing against each other. And here's the front. It's a new drawing of Clint Eastwood as the man with no name. I guess he doesn't have a name, but inside of this thing, there are 3 items. First, we're going to look at the disc itself. There's a little bit different detail here. It's a little bit different picture. There's the bad guy in the back. There's the lady in town that he ends up interacting with. And on the inside of it, we've got 2 discs. We've got the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc, which I was unable to play. There are a lot of extras on the Blu-ray disc. They look to be archive extras. There's one interesting extra that I was reading about. It says there is a scene they shot with Harry Dean Stanton for the opening of the film for the U.S. television release. So I've never seen that scene, I don't think. But that would be interesting to see that. If I ever get a region free player or a region B player, I can check that out. The second item is a poster. Let's take a look at this. It seems to be, no, is it double-sided? I don't know what's going on with it. If I can get it, stand by, I'm gonna get this thing open. Okay, it is double-sided. So here's this one, which is the new artwork, and then this is the original one, I believe. They both look pretty good. I like both of them. I probably won't be hanging it on the wall or anything. I'll be putting it back in the case, but that's the good thing about the Arrow ones. You can just fold them up and they go back in the case. And the last thing they got here is a booklet. This booklet has the cast. It has the credits at the front of it. It's got some pictures in it throughout. There's a picture of Ramon, one of the 2 outlaw guys that were pitted against each other. And it's got a lot of essays and pictures about the film. Let's read a little bit about the transfer. It's typically in the back of these books. A Fistful of Dollars has been exclusively restored by Arrow Videos and is presented in its original aspect ratio of 2:35:1. Now, 2:35:1 is widescreen, and on this version here, it is also in 2:35:1. I checked that out. The soundtrack is presented in restored original Italian and English mono. You can listen to it in Italian as well. Now, spaghetti westerns were shot in Italy, even though Clint Eastwood is an American actor, but most of the other people, probably when they were shooting it, did speak Italian. The original 35mm 2x Technoscope camera negative was scanned and restored in 4K/16-bit resolution at a place I'm not even going to try to pronounce. This film was further restored and color graded in SDR, HDR10, and Dolby Vision at Silver Salt Restoration, London. The original Italian film and audio materials sourced for this new restoration are made available, and then it gives some credits to whoever hooked them up with the materials. So they did a lot of work for this restoration. I'm not sure how that compares to the Kino Lorber 4K, which I don't have. So I don't know if anyone has the Kino and they've compared these two. Let me know what you think about that. If you see like a big difference in the quality of it. It sounds like they did some specific stuff for this one that they may not have for the other release. All right, let's go ahead and rate this film. I'm going to rate this on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. I'm going to give A Fistful of Dollars, I'm going to give it 4 stars, leaning towards a 4.5. I think this is a fantastic film. From my memory, it's been a while since I've seen the other two. From my memory, I think this is the one that I enjoyed the least. Not to say it's a bad movie. I just gave it 4 stars. Now, as far as Arrow Video and their limited edition release here, I'm going to give them 4.5 stars for their stunning transfer and their very amazing physical packaging here. Now, if you've seen this, let me know what you think about it. And if you would do me a favor and go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm Dave Watkins. Thanks for watching.